Hey everyone, welcome to another Flutter tutorial. In this video, we'll be looking at initiating the series where we'll be upgrading our chat app by migrating to null-safety, upgrading the Flutter version, and also to change the underlying technology from Rethink to MongoDB. I had recently put out a poll and I asked you guys, what technology would you want me to use in the upgrade? And most of you guys said Mongo. So I'll be using MongoDB for our real-time database engine. Also, I'd like to ask you guys to like and share this video and to help me grow this channel. And if you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing. So to get right into it, I am inside my chat app here looking at the pubspec YAML file. And to get started in upgrading this, we can open our terminal and we can navigate to the chat folder. So if I was here at the root, I will cd into the chat folder. And from here, you guys can run Flutter Upgrade. And that should upgrade your Flutter. See, I have already updated mine, so I have the latest version of Flutter running here. So now what we can do is to upgrade these packages to the null-safety version. We can check the packages which are outdated by running this command, dart pub outdated, and you set the mode to null-safety. Go ahead, as you can see, it will show these two packages inside of the chat module. Remember, we are inside of the chat module at the moment, not the entire app. So we're basically updating the chat module first. Then later on, we'll update the other parts of the app and migrate that part to null safety also. But we're going to upgrade incrementally. So since the chat module is separate and it has its own dependencies and stuff like that, we are going to upgrade that first. And if we upgrade this and it works, then it shouldn't affect the other parts of the application. So now we can upgrade these packages. So let's go ahead and run the command to upgrade the null safety packages. As you can see, rethinkdb does not exist. So there's not a null safety compatible version for Rethink Dart, that package. So let's just run this command for now and upgrade only the encrypt package. As you can see there, we have an issue because of rethinkdb. So it's saying that because every version of Rethink Dart depends on crypto 2.6, 2.06, and encrypt depends on something greater than, it is incompatible. So we'll have to first upgrade Rethink Dart. So I will change this from Rethink Dart. I know that there's a null safety version. I think it's called, if I should go to pubspec assist, I think it's called Rethink DBNS, meaning null safety. Let's check that again. Rethink DB underscore. Right, this one, Rethink DB underscore NS. So this is the null safety version of the same package. And now let's move that from the, let's move this. Let's move that here. Get rid of this one. So now that we have that, let's go to our terminal now and say, let's upgrade to null safety. Now we have all our packages upgraded. So we have encrypt upgraded and we have Rethink also upgraded. So now that's upgraded, we can run Flutter get to get those packages. That's completed. Now we can go ahead and migrate the code base using the Dart migration tool. So let's go ahead and run dart migrate. So as you see, we cannot migrate because there's a bunch of errors being thrown now with rethinkdb, and now because we have changed the package from rethink_dart to rethinkdns. So we'll have to fix all those problems before we can migrate. So I'm just gonna fix those problems by going through the problems and changing out, for example, changing this to rethinkdb and remove that. And I think if we should say go to our find here and say rethinkdb, we should be able to find all those and replace them with rethinkdb. Let's find and replace all. But now we need to go through and import the packages from the correct place. So I will go through and resolve these issues, and then we can continue from there. So now I have resolved most of those problems, but now we have a problem with the inside of our composition root. We have rethinkdb here, but our composition root is inside of the chat app, or the main folder outside of the chat module. So that means that inside of the pubspec YAML file for the main module, we'll also need to upgrade, or let me see what's happening here, probably because this was changed inadvertently when I run the find and replace command, but let's check. Let's change this back to rethinkdb. Great. So that's good. Side of our composition root, rethinkdb. So now that's resolved. This is deprecated, so we need to change that. That's resolved. So now if we should go to here and run our migration again, then we should be good to go. So the Dart migration tool generates a URL for us that we can go and check our files. So I'll paste this inside of the browser. And now these are the files that will be migrated. And we can just go ahead, we can look at this one, and we can say apply migration. Then we'll have to resolve whatever issues that come along. So now we have applied the migration, 24 files migrated, but now we see we still have some problems which we need to resolve. So here, this is returning future our cursor, which probably we need to change to future instead. We probably need to go through. This package is no longer needed. Remove this. Is there any more issue here? Nope. Next. Remove that. Let's go to our problems. Next problem. Again, we can remove this. This is no longer needed. So now we have gotten rid of those issues. What we can do now is to go ahead and run our test just to ensure everything is working as it should. But first, before we commit the changes, let's try our tests first. So inside of our test folder, let's go to our So this is incorrect test folder. Inside of the test folder here, let's go to our user service, for example. And before we can run any of these tests, we have to make sure that we have rethinkdb up and running, since the test is dependent on a live connection to the test database. So let us go ahead and check that. So to get our Rethink database up and running, I think mine is already running. Let me check. So I already have mine running here, started some time ago. But to get yours running, you can go ahead and run this docker command. So we're gonna run docker run in detached mode, and we want port 8080 to point to 8080, and also port 28015. We want that to point to the same 28015. So we're pointing what's the port on the host machine to the port inside of the container. So you should be able to run this to get your Rethink instance up and running. So now that we have our Rethink instance up and running, let's go ahead and try these tests. So let's run this one. So we have that one passing, which is good. Let's go ahead and run this one. As you can see, this one is failing, and it's failing inside of our implementation line 38. So let's find the file that's giving that, which is user service, and it is line 38, this exact line here. So we can just remove this cast. Let's go back to our test. Let's try it again. Now we have that test passing. So that's good. That's one down. Let's try now the other one inside of our user. Let's try the message service. Let's run this test. We seem to have a similar issue here with this type, this casting type of future R. So inside the message service, we said message service line 38. Well, it wasn't line 38, but we can find it. Let's check what line was it. Line 44. Again, we can remove this cast, and that should resolve the issue. And so we have this test failing, which should fail because we are returning a message here and not a boolean. So it should be, we're checking that the message ID is not empty, meaning the message was created. So let's run that again, and now it's passing, and we should be able to run the rest and test. So I've ran through both tests, and as you can see, they are passing. But I think we might encounter similar issues or similar issue with the other files. For example, the receipt service, we might have that casting issue also. I probably need to check those, so I'm just gonna quickly check those, ensure they are working, and then get back to you guys. So while testing my typing notification service, I encountered this error, which, as you can see, null check operator used on a null value. So you guys might encounter this, so I'll point it out and how to resolve it. And this is happening now because I am passing null here inside of my typing notification where a user service should be. I'm passing null, but inside the test, whenever it calls the user service fetch method to fetch the user inside the send method, as you can see here, user service right here, this is causing it to fail. So if we change this, it means therefore that this can be null also. So I'm gonna keep it as it is, and inside the test, what I'm going to do is to create a mock instance of user service and pass it down to the typing notification service. So I have created our mock user service here, but that means I will now have to add Mockito as a package inside of our chat app dependencies. So for example, inside of the dev dependency, I can go ahead and add Mockito. I'm going to use the latest version, which is the null-safety version. So let's go ahead and import that now. Also, so now we can create a user service. Go ahead and say user service is equal to mock user service, then we pass that here. Now we override the fetch method because of how null-safety works. There's an issue with using Mockito along with null-safety. So on inside of their GitHub documentation, they suggest that we override the method that we're mocking and use this no such method invocation to set the method and the optional ID that we're passing in. You guys can read more about that on their GitHub page. But for now, that's the mock user. We pass that in. Now let's run our test. Null is not a subtype. Side of our notification, line 14. See line 14. Null is not a subtype of future list. Let's see what's happening here. So I think what's happening here, we need to override our fetch method there, or tell Mockito how to respond when our fetch method is called. So let's add that there. Let's stop that method. Try the test again. That's good. And we can just copy and paste this right here. So now we run our test. I think they should return user2 instead. Let's try again. Or let's see what's happening here. Let's pass any. No, that test is passing. So I'll just pass any here also and try that again, and it's still passing. So now we can get rid of those imports. So now we have the test running and everything seems to be good. So let us try to see if we can get our app up and running and if it's working as it should. But before we attempt to get it up and running, I know that inside of the app's pubspec YAML file, I know that we'll have to upgrade these packages rather, because now we are running Dart 3.0 and a lot of these packages will not build because of that. So we'll have to upgrade this file also and remove this Rethink and change this to Rethink DNS. So let's do that. So I'm going to change this to Rethink DNS. Let's go ahead and save that. As you can see, there will be a bunch of issues here. And I'm just going to use this to say upgrade packages. I'm just going to use this UI tool here. As you can see, there's some issue with Mockito. So let's change this version of Mockito. Let's change it to the latest version, which is 5.3.2. Let's run the upgrade again. So now we have our exit code 0, meaning that everything built properly. Now we have some issues here, which is Rethink related. So now we need to change this. So now there it is, no issue. So we can go ahead and check if our app is working as it should. Before that, I am going to remove this iOS file, this folder, since that might cause some issues. So I'm just going to start up my simulator and try that. So as you can see, I tried to run this on my simulator, which is iPhone 12 Pro, but I'm getting this issue saying that the iPhone's deployment target is set to 8, but the range of supported target is 9. So I think what I'm going to do is to open Xcode, and I'm going to open this project in Xcode and then change the target from there. So after going into Xcode and changing the target to resolve that targeting issue, then I came back to the terminal and I run flutter clean, which will clean out the workspace, the Xcode workspace. Then after that, all you have to do is to get the packages again, and that will resolve the issue. So now we're able to install on both devices. So as you can see here, I have it running on a iPhone 12 and an iPhone 12 Pro. So let's just start our server, since we know that we have a image server. So inside of, I'm gonna cd inside of server, and I'm gonna say node. So this is so we can upload our profile image. So now if I should say go here, So there, as you can see, there's an issue because the app crashed without saying why. So let's ignore that and try and figure out what causes the crash. So upon inspection, I realized that what was causing the crash is that the permission issue where it didn't have access to the photos. So I have to add these two permissions to the info plist file to get that working. So now if we run our app again, say iPhone 12 Pro, I also want iPhone 12, execute both of those, bring up the devices. Let's see how this one fares. So now, yep, allow access. Whatever name. So now we have that working. So let's say hey and see what's happening. Whoa, look at that. So as you can see, we have a crash, which is as a result of me not catching this cast. So we should get rid of all of those. So I've resolved that and restarted the emulators. So now let's see what's happening here. So as you can see, I've sent a message, hey, sent one back, hey. As you can see, the communication continues. So now we know that our app is still working, even though we have migrated the chat module, we have changed a few things. We know that it's working. So now it is ready to be upgraded in the sense that we are switching out the underlying technology from rethinkdb to MongoDB. But I'll not start that in this video. I'm gonna stop here for now, but for the next video, I'm gonna ask you guys in preparation to go over to mongodb.com, to go over to the Cloud Atlas and to sign up here for an account, because we'll be using MongoDB or Mongo Cloud Atlas. So sign up for an account, have your account ready, so that in the next video we'll begin switching out the parts from rethinkdb and using MongoDB. Also to note that rethinkdb is now open sourced, so even though the project is no longer supported by the original creators, it is open sourced, and there has been a recent update. The community has been contributing to it, so it seems as if it's a good package to use if you guys still want to use that. But for now, we're going to use MongoDB, and the way we're going to do it means that you guys can follow along with whatever underlying real-time technology that you choose to use, whether Firebase, whether Supabase, whether Upright, whatever the case may be. Based on how we'll be doing it, it will be easy to adapt to various technologies. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. Again, remember to like and to share the video, to subscribe, and to help me grow the channel. So see you guys in